big queue. We end up in a pretty good area. We're thinking, I don't want to see him on a straight. Jenson button on a straight, you'll miss him. It's a Formula 1 car. I don't know what speed he was doing. He was allowed to do 70. I'm not sure he was doing 70. I think it could have been substantially more. I'm liking anyway. But I don't want to see him on the straight. It's a narrow straight. You can't see much of him or the car. He's a blur. Get to the donuts area. That's what I want. I'm going to film Jenson doing some fantastic donuts. I want to be in a good position. And for a while we were. We were just on the entry/exit. Bear in mind he'd have to loop round and go back where he came from. Pretty good pitch. But we had to wait about an hour. And in this hour we went from the second row behind the barrier and the marshal to about the fourth or fifth. We didn't have umbrellas, except a guy behind us did. That was very useful. Spitting with rain, filled up very quickly. I've heard reports that there were, my dad said there was 45,000 spectators there. Seems a lot. Online it said something about 60,000. I think it was on Autosport or something. That seems an insane number of people to be there. The MC at the time said something about 19,000. Maybe that was just our area specifically, but even so, it didn't look like it. A lot of people, but well, I suppose if you imagine the capacity of the Emirates Stadium around Manchester, I suppose it's possible, I don't know. But crowded streets, remember this is on the streets of Manchester on a sort of makeshift track area. So it's all rather confined within the buildings. So if you were in a flat in those buildings, you would have a spectacularly good view of everything. We were quite jealous. But nonetheless, we were happy to wait. We entertained ourselves in the rain, and the MC guy kept us updated throughout. We were near the MC and his special area. And he was quite annoying actually. He obviously wasn't a real fan. Probably some Vodafone hired hand or something. He was probably some freelance DJ or something. The music he played was very... I think they played some Michael Jackson, but you know, does that really get you revved up for a F1 demonstration? I don't think it does. Well, it didn't. I was there. I can tell you it didn't. And you know, the DJ guy was quite obnoxious, you know, just annoying, and at least he kept us up to date with what was going on. Yeah, but once it started, we had a bit of build-up, a sort of teaser of Jenson going around. So he started some streets away, and we were at the end of the run always. So we had time to prepare our cameras and our phones, taking pictures, etc. But you could hear it from miles away. It was a V8 engine. I'm sure it wasn't. You know, it wasn't a V10. I doubt they put a V10 in a V8, but it sounded loud. Or maybe they turned the engine up. Maybe they restricted it. I don't know. But excellent. You could hear it. It was fantastic sounding. But before all that happened, they built it up. So you had Jenson going around in a Mercedes estate car. I'm not sure which one, but it looked slightly mundane. It was still exciting because Jenson was going to drive it. So we all tried to get a picture of Jenson as he came around, but he just sort of did a loop, and that was the end of it. A couple actually, but still exciting to see him, and it was finally starting. So that car was over, and then the safety car came round after the estate car. I don't know why the safety car was there actually. It was slightly damp, and that was it really. But nice to see the safety car. It wasn't driven by Jenson, it was some bloke. because it wasn't the official guy, it wasn't Bernd Mailander, so don't know who it was, didn't really care. Tried to get a picture, I missed it actually. It was going slowly, but my camera work is quite appalling. Didn't get a particularly great shot. So, that was that then. Out came the MP412C, the McLaren sort of road-going supercar. Quite excited to see that actually. Don't think I've ever seen one on the road. Pretty rare. And apparently Jenson actually owns and drives one of these himself, which is not too surprising. It's probably a sort of perk of his contract. Drives for McLaren, there's a McLaren. You're endorsing the McLaren car by owning one. Sure you go. But it wasn't his car that he was driving necessarily. Cool looking car, silver car. Drove it reasonably fast. Couldn't do a lot with it. Had a very poor turning circle. And it was a damp track. He didn't do anything spectacular in terms of donuts with it, but pretty good. And I was quite excited to see it again. Tried to take a picture. It came out badly. I didn't take it very well. We were positioned well, but in terms of aiming the camera for the head and sort of guessing where he is, for a photo, very difficult. For a film, you've got loads of hands, so I was a bit rubbish at that. But back to the MC being a bit of an idiot, and Formula 1 fans are quite intelligent really. They don't miss a thing. The announcer guy calls it a C12 instead of a 12C. Small things, but we don't miss anything. And he'd lost us from that point onwards. And it was the way that he tried to get the crowd really going by doing this sort of 3 cheers for Jenson. Well, yeah, I will in time, I was thinking to myself, but not when I'm just standing for an hour and there's nothing going on and I'm getting wet. Just shut up, man. Tell me when Jenson's back on, and we'll leave it at that. So they kept us in suspense for a long time, standing in total for over 2 hours with nothing going on. But when there was stuff going on, it was superb. And the excitement was building throughout the entire sort of first hour and a half or so. But then the announcement came, Jenson's getting in the McLaren. Bearing in mind it always takes quite a while for an F1 car to be readied and prepared. We've got a sort of 10 men plugging all sorts of electronics into it, heating the tyres, getting everything ready and prepared. Jenson's then he's coming, and we're all incredibly excited. We can hear it from seemingly miles away. And the track had a couple of corners. It was maybe sort of 5 streets by 3 streets by another 5 streets or something. And it was, Jenson's coming. And then he came sort of 20 seconds later. It was an incredibly quick course. To walk the course, it would take sort of 5 to 7 minutes, especially through the crowds, but quite a while. And Jenson's here in seconds because he's in an F1 car. So we're all really ready and braced, and he comes, but he sort of coasts towards our area. I can't see too much of the course except my own area. So many crowds, and he sort of blips the throttle slightly. It's almost silent, and then it just explodes into noise as he comes into view, and I think he just flicks the car around. On video evidence, he just flicks the back end out slightly and powers away. It wasn't a proper donut. He turned around stylishly